All right, let's do 13 and 14 real quick. Well, I'll do them in separate. So right now we're just going to do problem number 13. So we're going to graph, and this is problem number 13. We're going to graph y is less than negative 2x squared plus 12x minus 16. That's pretty easy. What I want to do is I want to plug in the values, like I want to create a table of values. So, and you could do this by hand. So if I'm just going to start with x equals 0. So now when x equals 0, what I'm really doing mathematically is I'm plugging in 0 wherever there's an x. And then I do the math. Now what's interesting, this whole term goes to 0 because anything, 0 squared is 0, and anything times 0 is 0. Then this is 12 times 0, which is 0. So 0 plus negative 16 is just negative 16. So what that means is one point on the graph is 0, comma, negative 16. In other words, when I plug in 0 for x, I'm going to get negative 16. Same thing, let's plug in 1 for the funs of it. Okay. And I don't know, I might get something wonky, but we'll see. I got negative 2 times 1 squared plus 12 times 1 minus 16. And so when I plug that in, this becomes 1 squared is just 1. 1 times negative 2 becomes negative 2. Plus 12 becomes 10. Plus negative 16 becomes negative 6. So I think 1 comma negative 6 is on the graph. Now we're going to double check all these in Desmos, but I think sometimes it's a good idea to just kind of run through it and see what you get. So now we're going to plug in 2. So I've got negative 2, and wherever there's an x, I'm going to plug in a positive 2. So I've got negative 2 times 2 squared plus 12 times 2 minus 16. 12 times 2 is a positive 24. 2 squared is 4. Negative 2 times 4 is a negative 8. Hey, look, that equals 0, right? Negative 8 and negative 16 is a negative 24. Plus 24 is 0. Wait. Yeah, that's right. Okay. Let's do 3. And we'll do 4. And we'll do 5. So all of these, and I'm not going to do them all, but basically you're going to say negative 2 times 3 squared. We'll let Desmos do this for us. Plus 12 times 3 minus 16. Same thing, negative 2 times 4 squared plus 12 times 4 minus 16, and so on and so forth. Okay? So to let Desmos do this for us, we're going to go to Desmos. And then I'm going to type in negative 2x raised to the second power. So I'm going to plug that in, but I'm going to turn this off at first because I don't want it to actually graph it. Because I want to use the calculator portion of Desmos. So there we go, boom. But remember, we've got to label this as f of x. We got to make it a function in order for this to give us our table of values. So then in here, I'm going to insert the table, because that's what we're creating. And then over here, I'm just going to say f of f evaluated at x sub 1. And this is what you'll do when you go to take the test. And so we said when x equals 0, we got negative 17. When x equals 1, we got negative 6. When x equals 2, we got 0. When x equals 3, we got 2, 4, 5, and then 6. So you see this pattern emerging, right? These are our points on the line. This is our table of values. So I'm just going to copy and paste this onto my paper. So if you're in a hurry and you just want to kind of do this quickly, you can. I'll let you use Desmos because I'd rather you graph it properly instead of getting a mistake. So what this stuff means is that when x equals 3, your y value will equal 2. If I do all the math on this, crank through it, it'll equal 2. If I plug in 4, I'll get 0 again. If I plug in 5, I'll get negative 6. And then if that's supposed to be a 6. And then lastly, if I plug in 6 over here, I'll get negative 16. So the points 2, 0 are on the line, or on the curve, I should say. 3, 2, 4, 0, 5, negative 6, and then 6, negative 16. And then to graph it, I could just, let Desmos help me with that. And that's basically it. I mean, that's the graph. Just drawing a curve through those points. Oh, wait. There's one little issue. There's two little issues. Wait, we're not quite ready yet. It said less than or greater than. So now that I have the boundary, now I have to define less than or greater than. So it's actually less than. I don't know why I keep saying less than or greater than. So because it's less than, it's saying y is less than this line. So is that above this curve or below this curve? Below. So if we're not sure, only thing we got to do is change it like this. Now we're going to run into a problem when we do this f of x business. So I'm going to do it like this. I'm going to copy and paste this into another graph like this. But now I'm going to say y is less than, oops, maybe I'll say it. Y is less than this. Okay? So now, this is what I have. So that's what the graph technically should look like. Let me take a screenshot of that. Well, maybe I could take a screenshot. And this is what the graph looks like. Okay? Any questions on that one? I'll leave that up there for you guys.